Hi there, and welcome back to our Let's Play, or rather preview of Scourge of War Waterloo. I'm your host, PPGChu as always, and today we're taking a look at another scenario once again. So, it is now the afternoon. The battle has been going on for some time. The front lines have been taking quite a pummeling. It is 1:30 p.m. Today we command a British, or an allied force this time, composed of Netherlands infantry, and well, in the morning and in parts of the afternoon, the British, or the French as we have seen in the previous episodes, have been absolutely pummeling the first line of defenders coming forwards to this date and time. The first line of defenders have for more or less dissipated, and it is our time to join the fray. We are to hold the sunken lane right over here with the rest of our forces kept in reserve, hidden behind this, ridge line over here. So, taking a look at the field once again, it looks like it is starting to become quite cloudy. Last time, if you remember, we've been fighting on the side over here in this area of the map. Currently, so the game resets after a bit of time, of course, for these historical scenarios. And with that said, these two structures are still occupied. So, again, I'm not too familiar with exactly how this battle went down, but anyhow, I would assume that implies that this area was, the attack on that area was repelled, or at least recaptured sometime during the fighting. So, what do we see here in the middle of the map is pretty much where we are at. Firstly, we have a line of skirmishers. These guys are under our control, so you can get our guys to lay down, of course. This will reduce visibility for one, and B, obviously it makes it slightly difficult to see them, or it gives them more cover is what I meant to say. So our guys over here, they will be taking quite the pummeling going forwards. Our forces are more or less just set to defend against whatever is really thrown at us here. So taking a look at exactly what troops we own, or control really. So we have a fair amount at the front for us to play around with. This gigantic field of skirmishers is indeed one unit, so that is quite interesting to know. And today we get to see the march of the entirety of the front over here. So the French over there, they seem to be throwing everything they have at us for the sake of this battle. Let's see. Yep, their entire line seems to be marching against us over here. And again, if you really wanted to, you could play this game from one of the more realistic settings, where you can kind of witness the sheer horror of watching that move towards you with very little information. So we could be standing here right from this perspective, wondering what is over the behind the French lines over there. And luckily for us, we know for a fact that there is absolutely nothing there, but that would be horrifying to see to move against you, really. But so far so good. It looks like the bombardment is, I want to say we don't have to deal with all of this by ourselves, but from the looks of it, the French commander has mobilized everything against us. That might be very, very problematic. How are we doing over here? Do we hold the farm? No, no. There's a very small British force holding. I forgot what this building set was called. Lace hat. I don't know. Anyhow, there's a small British force holding this, approximately 450 men. French lines over here are not as thick as we've seen in the past, so that is good. The building will hold, hopefully, and provide us with some fire. All we have to do is just hold this victory point, nothing else. That makes our objectives slightly easier. We have ample ammunition. We might as well take a look at troops we have here. So starting off with the 8th Battalion of, unfortunately, these guys are national militia. So evidently, they're better in close order than they would be from firing at a distance. Oddly enough, they have an experience of 50 to kind of represent that. Taking a look at the Netherlands battalion over here, these being actual line infantry, like trained, I wouldn't say professionals per se, but much better. So this time they have 60 experience, slightly better, decent, or they're much better at shooting, but it's only slightly better at melee. These guys, skirmishers, again, trained soldiers, they're much better at this whole open order thing. I'm not familiar with what exactly that means, but okay, we'll take that. And taking a look at the rest of the field over here, do we get to control these people? No. What about the actual British line back here? No, we do not. Well, what about over here? Well, this might be problematic then. We have a ragtag group of militiamen over here. We don't necessarily have all too many things in reserve from the looks of it. Right, so that might be slightly problematic. We'll have to depend on a lot of our allies for this battle, and hopefully what will happen is we will be reinforced by the by the 32nd Cromwell Regiment here, and well, all of this seems to be kept under the lead of 9th Brigade. So these British troops are much better. They have very high marksmanship, very high close order, a very disciplined force from in comparison to ours. So let's see what has happened so far. So French are advancing, no news there, but our skirmisher force has been pulling back. We'll give them a halt order. These guys are supposed to be, from what I'm telling, from this open order type of thing. If they are the more experienced group of units we have here, they seem to be pulling back real fast. Be rest assured, for good reason, seeing just the sheer amount of forces at our front here. Yeah, it's a truly great game for the sheer scale of the battle. Yeah, but luckily, at least a lot of that artillery fire is going to waste on our front here. What are these guys doing? So we still have some. So our companions here on the side, they still have some of their skirmishers still up front and center there. They seem to be pulling back now, likely semi-engaged in melee. Oh, but it looks like we might lose the swath of cannons over here, and those cannons are firing canister shot. I don't know if you guys noticed there, right here, but it was a spray of pellets than anything else. Okay, so that advance will gradually come. I think we have enough time to watch this action take place. So they're probably trying to limber up the cannons and pull them back right now. They seem to be... what are they doing? They are assembling... or, yeah, reassembling their forces, eh? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately we won't see another whiff from the cannons. Right, but I think it's time to get our forces to stand up and prepare for the worst. So you know what? Our line infantry here is starting to pull back. I am going to allow them to do so, but first they will have to form a line and well, conserve their fatigue here, because this is going to be quite the challenging battle from the looks of things. I don't know if we'll be able to win this one with militiamen and very scarce skirmish troops. Ooh, yeah. Once the French start concentrating their artillery fire, and provided they get a few lucky shots like that, that really starts to flatten our line. Yep, well, there we go. We are starting the brawl, firing against the French skirmishers for now. Taking massive casualties in the meantime, however. Right, so for now, our objectives is just to hold this sunken lane. I think we get a slight high ground bonus from, yeah, up here, but apart from that, I don't know if we'll be able to hold this. I think for now, we'll have to, put away our interests to sparing our own forces and, well, let the guns over here continue to pummel the French lines for now. Drain them down like that. And later on, retreat back under or behind the British forces. Yikes, would you look at that? We've already lost 109 men. Still have 700 available here. Ooh, that really cuts things down. How are we doing over here? Uh-oh. Oh no, I didn't want to start a melee like that. I wanted to get them to pull back in a decently nicely fashion, but this works too. I think we're winning at least. We'll see. We'll see. What I was going to say was if we could pull our experienced Jaegers back into the British reserves over there, we might stand a better chance at waiting these people out, but that is going to drain that 700 men down to 256, of which they are routing too. Right, my reasoning was at the end of the day, if we make a withdrawal like that, we could, yeah, I thought they would actually form up, you know, as they go along, not kind of right into the middle of the battlefield, but that works too. They'll gradually come back to us. Right now, the militia line will have to hold. We still hold the fortress over here. That'll tie them down on the right flank. And so far, the British are committed to stalling up that group of forces. So this works out somewhat nicely. Come on, pull back here. I don't want to isolate any of our forces for now. Oh, and look at the carnage over there. So many bodies, and they're so similar. It's kind of hard to tell which ones are ours and which ones is well, the French losses, but maybe, yeah, their uniforms are slightly darker than ours. Ah, there we go. I think that's see that again. Maybe we're close enough for the cannons to fire canister shot, and in that case, if we can hold the cannons down for some amount of time, hopefully these will just really start bleeding the French. Oh, what do we have here? we found the Scottish. Yeah, Royal Highland Black Watch over here. Yeah, I bet they weren't expecting that. How are we doing along the front? Only 50 casualties so far. Here, we can use terrain to our advantage, but I don't want to necessarily fully block our guns. From here on out, I mean, they can shoot slightly to our front over here. Maybe kind of arc some grape shot over like that. I don't really know if that's possible. And over here, they seem to have some amount of fire on the French ranks over there near the chateau. Oh, the carnage! Would you look at that? Oh, would you look at that? That might be one of our, or maybe, huh? That might be one of the French generals or one of ours. Didn't notify us about anything, but I distinctly remember there was the person leading the supply train over there. And speaking about supplies, we have... Okay, so we do have a ton of ammunition. So at least that is good. Here, I'm going to try to reposition our forces. Yeah, I don't really want them to turn over here. I really want to use the sunken ridge because then we can kind of shield our forces, and at the same time, that should give the cannons some more leeway in where they're firing. How are we doing here? The buildings are starting to fall apart. Or no? There is no damage on that building. Strange. I thought this was rubble falling from it, but I guess not. Yeah, that's tying down about a brigade of their forces. All of this is just French casualties, I presume, from the cannon fire mostly. What are these guys? The rifles. These are... Well, no, it might be from these people over here. This is quite a nice regiment. They are, yeah, 120 level in terms of marksmanship. Really, really nice. So I don't think things are as bad as they seem over here for the most part. You know, on one hand, yes, we are taking a lot of losses, but on the other hand, I mean, our troops aren't that high in terms of quality. Now, I don't know whether or not there's anything, say, scheduled for the AI, perhaps, but, you know, if we're able to tire out the French forces, I mean, they're looking at highly trained, you know, troops. You got the Black Watch over here, you got some Highlanders, more Highlanders over here, and some really, really nice, well, nice and experienced British troops behind here. And I mean, in the meantime, the French here are throwing all of their mass at us. How are we doing over here? Ooh, a single battalion of Landwehr is holding the front. These people, yeah, they are also militiamen. They have much better uniforms than ours, though. What about over here? These are also Landwehr. So again, from the looks of it, we're starting to draw up the we're starting to draw up the French forces. And currently they are wasting a lot of forces just trying to peck at our lines over here. I'm going to order another retreat. Our people are starting to become more fatigued, and I think it'll be time for the slashers to join the fray here. Not too worried about the gun battery now. It looks like the French are trying to conserve some. Yeah, they seem to be conserving their resources, pulling back. So that should give the cannons over here full ability to use canister rounds, or not canister rounds, grape shot, the predecessor to canister shot. And in the meantime, if they do decide to charge the guns, they'll be facing the entirety of all of this. Would you look at that? These now these are the real rifles right here. 300 and counting for only 60. They've cut down this division to, yeah, practically nothing. I'm surprised they haven't been broken yet. Ah, there we go. It's perfect. And over here inside the fortress, there's only, yeah, just barely anything holding down this this emplacement. But nevertheless, that's tying down the French, and that's really making them bleed. And over here, looks like we lost one cannon, but the rest are still firing it away. That's fine. How are things over here? Okay, so they're taking some losses on our right. This unit is holding up exceptionally well given the amount of fire coming at it. Ah! And would you look at that, the rifles over there are starting to make an advance onto the to the French. Still fighting for the fortress. That is very, very good. What about these people? They are 5th Line Battalion. Very short on troops, but no shortage on courage, being up there with only 50 men. I think it is time for us to re-enter the fight and to support them wherever we can. That was a nice shot. Took down, yeah. Made a nice hole through all of that. There we go. Right, so that should help him out. How are we doing here? Ah, these are skirmishers. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. How are we doing over here? The battalion is holding with 79 people in that fortress still. And it looks like the cavalry has arrived. What do we have here? 2 more of these light battalions. Okay, so these KGL guys, they're not terribly experienced, but oh, these are two battalions, not just 1. But nevertheless, more numbers is very, very good. And I mean, metaphorically or strictly speaking, the cavalry has always been here. But yeah, things are good. Okay, now I think we have just enough stuff to turn this battle around. So, let's see. 8th Brigade still isn't committing the slashers to the fray, but that works. How are we doing here? All along the line, our forces can fire. These forces can fire. This is very, very good. What about our retreating troops? Did we ever get back our forces? No, they never rallied. Damn, that kind of sucks. But we'll help. Oh yeah, so that leaves us with only 1, or I think only 1, strictly speaking, decent unit. So with that said, I'm not sure if we should still commit the 700 some real regulars that we have. But we'll see. How are we doing over here? These people, where the rifles are starting to pull back, that's not a good sign, but I think they've made more than good progress over here by allowing all of these forces to set up for 1. What's happening over here? Are they charging us? No, they are not. Oh no, these people are just redeploying, covering this side. Okay. And what about the structure? General's dead. 62 people still remain. They're still tying up, from the looks of it, a lot of French battalions. That's good. And where are these people going? Okay, so they're resetting. Ooh. I really would have liked to, yeah, there we go. The rifles engaged in melee over here with that 120 melee level. They're very fatigued though, but be rest assured, I think the enemy is also very, very fatigued over there. We'll see, though. They're taking a lot of losses because of this, but then again, they're almost out of ammo. So if they win this fight, it might be worth our while to try to sneak in some forces into... Oh no, the fortresses fell. I was gonna say, it might be worth our while to put some of our forces in there just to kind of tie down the enemy walls. You know, the better units such as this do their thing. Aw, what? The rifles have broken over here. That is not a good sign. So this battle is ebbing away from our control after briefly gaining regaining the pacing here. Right, but this seems to be the entirety of the French forces, so they are committed to this every single step of the way. Right, so now they're giving some ground over here, not bad. Huh. This seems to be an actual route. A good policy would be, if you have just so many troops on the field, to rotate them in and out of battle so you keep their fatigue levels high. But that works out for us. They seem to be recommitting some troops. These seem to be truly broken. So, and over here, or no, never mind, not over there. So, alright, some good, some bad. Yeah, the rifles are done for good, though. Taking out more than double their numbers. They were low on ammunition anyways. And I don't know how well the AI handles restocking on ammunition and all that. Yeah. I want to try to pull back my forces to get them to resupply and keep up their fatigue meters. Can't seem to get them to just kind of hide behind these troops though. They seem to want to go around them. No doubt it's a good plan to, I mean, like, keep the formation the same, but still, that is very annoying. I just noticed that they are starting to put a lot of pressure on us over here. So we'll scratch that plan. We'll get these to deploy into a line. There we go. Come on. There we go. We'll get this troop over here, the 8th National Militia, to try to move slightly forwards. If we can take the ridge, that would be nice. Then we can commit some of our regular forces. Cavalry is mobilizing. They're making a lot of headway on our left flank there. Okay, so things are... Yeah, again, this battle is just kind of... well, it's kind of going back and forth, really. Starting to make progress on another flank, and then the French recommit to another one, to the opposite one, really. With any luck, KGL will make some progress, cutting down this unit, allowing allowing their forces to kind of sweep in from the sides there. That would be really, really nice. But time will tell. What are they doing over here? Swiveling. Okay. Ah. Ooh, that is not a good sign at all. Yikes. So 2 weakened French units there, and I'm not really sure what the artificial intelligence is doing turning over here, but alright. From the looks of things, we still have ample reserves, something that the French don't, at least in our sector. How are we doing over here? Starting to get low on fatigue. But we're doing a good job contesting the site. And the British seem to have doubled down on that side. Okay. I'm going to pull my forces back for some time. Trying to figure out if there's no other route than going all the way over there. If so, you know what? Just get them out of there. I see that we still have reserves. And I want KGL over here to commit to the fight. Ooh, some nice shots on the center right here. Yeah, the reason being, I think our men are fairly spent at this point. Oh, would you look at that? The cavalry is on the field. There we go. 43 and 4. Very, very good. Yeah, sometimes the game has some small problems with how these forces are actually modeled, but this is going pretty well. That is going splendidly. There's only 140 of them making a little charge here, and that's forcing the French to lock up into those squares. No doubt doing, a fair amount of damage here first and foremost, but causing them to retreat. Look at that, 8 losses for 120, and that is just going to continue to mount, provided that they avoid that Napoleonic square over there. Or, drive right through it, that's fine too. Yeah, at the minute they start engaging square, the losses just spike up. That is not good. That is going to bleed them dry. So during the battle, coming from the French perspective, one of the things that had happened was that they made a mistake by making a charge around the center later on during the day, and as it turns out, I mean, behind the hills over there, as you may have noticed, well, like a lot of the British troops are still in reserve, right? Behind the hills there, it was just all little Napoleonic squares. I mean, the charge had already begun, so there wasn't too much that they could do at the time, right? And with that said, they got absolutely butchered as they tried to retreat and all. Nevertheless, though, I mean, it's nice seeing that the cavalry is making an appearance here. And alright, so I see only one truly broken, or two truly broken, three, never mind, truly broken French units. They still seem to have quite a lot of mass over here, but I think the subordinate commanders all around this area are starting to join into the fight. Have a bit of a chase here, not bad. And this time it looks like they've done the smart thing. They're starting to pull off of the charge when things get too... What? They're countercharging. Huh. And then they disappeared. I'm not sure what happened there, but okay. Either way, very, very good for us. With 4 minutes to go, yeah, our forces have retaken these positions. Okay. I'm gonna send in our fresh units now to try to hold the front. It's still kind of contested, so you know what? Let's go with a maneuver formation. I want them to go up there and to hunker down into a little square of their own. That way we'll be able to shoot over there. No, don't charge that. Please, no. Ah, good, they stopped. There, I changed my mind. We'll try to put some fire onto that flank in particular for now. Taking a look at fatigue levels over here. So these people are resting. They're still moderately low on fatigue, so we'll let them wait it out. Thought they were going to make a charge here, but no. Come on, KGL. Light them up. There we go. How are they doing over there? They are trying to regroup. I figured maybe the French have been... I figured maybe they would have been broken at that point, and these were just isolated little, squares. Because that is a lot of distance that they need to go to get back to the safety of the, well, in reality, I mean, we can only see a line of cannons, right? But, maybe that's the only thing there. Right, let's try to put down a volley onto that square, and then follow that up with a charge. So, not much for a volley, but alright, we'll take that. So let's go. Charge. That works too. Well, I mean, they are right. This is the weaker position to charge out of the two, but, Fair enough. That one also broke. Oh. What? Not again? Wait, why? Yeah, we managed to hold these positions, at least for the most part. I mean, oh, definitely, we've definitely managed to control this area. The entirety of that force attacking us just melted. So I don't know why they would call that a loss. From the looks of it, I mean, most of the battalions that fought here have definitely fulfilled their portion for the battle already. But I guess this is a matter between the fact that our militia units didn't really do much, apart from eat bullets. But nevertheless, I mean that helps us out for a fair amount. Oh well, I think it was a pretty good show. Nevertheless, I suppose the game considers our contribution to what happened here marginal at best. Anyhow, I'll see you guys later on in another video. Bye bye for now.